It would be impossible to count the number of beautiful places on Africa that have been created, carved, and shaped by Mother Nature. From the longest river and oldest mountains on Earth to the largest waterfall, the largest hot desert, and the largest inland delta, the mainland has it all. The mother continent has also been inhabited for over 5 million years, making it the oldest inhabited region, and humans have been leaving their mark here ever since. Check out this list of amazing sites of natural beauty and cultural importance inspired by their unique design, location, significant contributions, and natural features. Number 15, the Nile River. With a length of 6,852 kilometers, the Nile River is not just the longest river in Africa, but the entire world. Located in northeast Africa, the river passes through 11 countries as it flows north into the Mediterranean Sea. Originating south of the equator in Burundi, the Nile has two sources, the Blue Nile from Lake Tana in Ethiopia and the White Nile from Lake Victoria in Tanzania. It takes around 3 months for the waters to travel the entire length of the river until it empties into the Mediterranean. Luxury cruises are the most favored way to see and travel along this prominent landmark in Africa. Many of these luxury liners and yachts offer planned shore trips that allow you to see the major attractions along the way that include famous tombs, temples, pyramids, as well as the Aswan Dam. Popular activities along the Nile comprise whitewater rafting, jet boating, swimming, fishing, and kayaking. Number 14, Sossusvlei in Namibia. Sossusvlei is arguably Namibia's most impressive and best-known tourist attraction. Set within the Namib National Park, the largest conservation area in Africa, the region is home to the biggest sand dunes in the world. Characterized by these massive sand dunes that surround it, Sossusvlei is a vast white clay and salt pan located within the southern part of the coastal Namib Desert. Dating back more than 55 million years, the Namib is believed to be the oldest desert on the planet. With temperatures reaching 45 degrees Celsius during the day and below freezing after dark, it is also one of the most inhospitable places in Africa and around the world. The name Sossusvlei is of mixed origin, roughly translating to dead-end marsh. The desert dunes have been formed by the transportation of materials from thousands of kilometers away by wind and water currents. The orange-colored dunes comprise quartz sand that has blown inland from the coastal area. This impressive African landmark is a great destination all year round, attracting travelers who wish to climb these sand dunes followed by an exhilarating slide back down. It is also a highlight for those who wish to capture this unique African landscape and photogenic area on camera. Located around 350 kilometers southwest of Windhoek, the natural attraction can be visited for a day as part of a larger road trip within Namibia. Number 13, Timbuktu and the Great Mosque of Djenne in Mali. Situated a short distance from Timbuktu is one of the most famous landmarks in Africa, the Great Mosque of Djenne. Located in the city of the same name on the floodplain of the Bani River, the adobe building is a sight to behold and considered to be one of the greatest feats of the Sudano-Sahelian architectural style. Originally built in the 13th century, made entirely out of mud, it was later demolished. It was only in 1907, during which Djenne had become a French colonial outpost, that the mosque was reconstructed on the site of the original one. Over the centuries, the Great Mosque of Djenne has become the cultural and religious center of Mali. Each year the town gathers for the unique Crépissage de la Grande Mosquée Festival, during which repairs on the mosque sustained over the previous year are carried out. This man-made historic monument is built on a platform measuring about 75 meters times 75 meters, that is raised by 3 meters above the level of the surrounding marketplace. A distinctive feature of the mosque is the rodier palm sticks that protrude from the building. Originally used as decoration, they now also serve as scaffolding during repairs. Number 12, Fish River Canyon in Namibia. Number 12 on this list of eminent and renowned landmarks of Africa is the Fish River Canyon. Located in the south of Namibia, it covers an area of 5,900 square kilometers, making it the second largest canyon in the world and the largest on the African continent. The vast expanse and rugged terrain draws visitors from around the world as the second most visited attraction in Namibia. Hiking is a popular activity that provides a great way to experience the magnitude and raw power of this natural landmark. One of the best lookout points is Hell's Bend, located near the Hobas Rest Camp, and from this vantage point witness the deep canyon infinitely spread out as far as the eye can see. This landmark and natural wonder was formed by water erosion and the collapse of the bottom of the valley. Carved by the Fish River, the canyon forms part of the AIA's Richtersveld Transfrontier Park. Number 11, the Great Migration across Serengeti and Masai Mara. The greatest show on earth, that is what the movement of the wildebeest and zebra, followed by their predators. This great migration of over 2 million animals is the largest wildlife migration in the world, during which the animals move in a clockwise direction across some of the most beautiful places in Africa, the Serengeti in Tanzania and the Masai Mara in Kenya. The Serengeti National Park covers an area of 14,750 square kilometers of savanna, forest, and grassland. This vast ecosystem in the Mara and Simiyu regions of East Africa boasts impressive wildlife numbers with more than 300 species of mammals and over 500 species of birds. Contiguous with the plains of the Serengeti, the Masai Mara Game Reserve is an important wildlife conservation area covering 1,510 square kilometers in the Rift Valley province of Kenya. It is world famous for its large populations of African leopard, bush elephant, and lion amongst a variety of other wild creatures. Number 10, Ngorongoro Crater in Tanzania. Famous for being the largest intact volcanic caldera in the world, the Ngorongoro Crater is a must-visit landmark African attraction. Its formation is as a result of a huge explosion of a volcano that collapsed on itself around 2 to 3 million years ago. This volcano is believed to have been equal to or larger in size than Kilimanjaro prior to exploding. Often referred to as Eden of Africa, the conservation area is home to the highest density of big game, making it one of the best places in Africa to witness wildlife in their natural habitat. The caldera acts as a haven for more than 25,000 large animals that include lions, hyenas, wildebeest, zebra, rhinoceros, and elephants to name a few. It got its name from the Masai people of the region, meaning the black hole. Number 9, Avenue of the Baobabs in Madagascar. A unique place in the world and a definite landmark in Africa, the Avenue of the Baobabs can be found on the island of Madagascar. The largest island in Africa and the fourth largest in the world. Madagascar is located in the Indian Ocean, just off the coast of Southeast Africa. It has been isolated for over 80 million years, so many of its animals and plants are found nowhere else in the world. The Avenue of the Baobabs is a collection of visually powerful baobab trees lining a stretch of road in western Madagascar. One of the most iconic places in Africa, the beautiful road has deservedly become a major tourist attraction. Travelers from across the globe visit to view this unique African landscape that is only 260 meters long, but the sight of around 25 giant trees rising over 30 meters high makes for a dramatic sight. The Alley of the Baobabs is the focus of local conservation and since 2007 has been protected to become the island's first national monument in Africa. The baobab tree is known locally as Ranala, which translates to Mother of the Forest. It is also known as the Tree of Life due to its many uses. It provides shelter, food, water, natural medicine, and can even be used to make clothing and rope. Number 8, Sahara Desert of North Africa. Covering an area of 9.2 million square kilometers, the Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert in the world. Just imagine, it occupies a total of 8% of the Earth's land area. This noteworthy top Africa landmark spans 11 countries across much of northern Africa: Egypt, Morocco, Western Sahara, Mauritania, Algeria, Libya, Chad, Mali, Niger, Sudan, and Tunisia. The high position of the sun, the lack of rainfall, and low humidity makes this place one of the hottest places not only in Africa, but on Earth. Despite its huge size, the Sahara continues to expand, growing by 10% over the last century. This is mainly due to a combination of natural climate changes and global warming. This unique attraction in Africa is a must-visit place. Adventurous travelers are enticed by the tranquility, the beauty, the sky full of stars at night, and the Bedouin vibes. Keep an eye out for camels, oryx, cobras, Barbary sheep, and Dama gazelle, just to name a few of the animals that call this desert landmark home. Number 7, Rock-hewn churches of Lalibela in Ethiopia. One of the most unique and mystical places in Africa, the small town of Lalibela in north-central Ethiopia is world-famous for its 11 rock-hewn churches. These spectacular churches are unique in the sense that they were not constructed in a traditional way, but carved and cut from the living rock of monolithic blocks. Zagwe King Lalibela commanded the construction of 11 monolithic churches in an attempt to build a new Jerusalem as his capital. This was in response to the capture of Old Jerusalem. The layout and names are considered to be a symbolic representation of Jerusalem. The 11 churches are arranged into two main groups, with the most notable being the House of Meroë, the House of Golgotha, and the House of Meroë. Number 6, Okavango Delta in Botswana. One of Africa's most famous destinations, the Okavango Delta found in northwestern Botswana, is the largest inland delta in the world. Forming part of the Great East African Rift Valley system, this pristine oasis is created as the Okavango River flows into the Kalahari Desert. This floods the surrounding savanna, creating a maze of waterways and a dynamic ecosystem that is continuously changing and spread over 15,000 kilometers. The Okavango is a seasonal river formed as a result of the summer rainfalls in the Angolan highlands between the summer months of December and March. From March to June the water overflows into floodplains, causing the delta to swell almost 3 times in size. A sanctuary for a plethora of species, the Okavango Delta is a well-regarded safari attraction in Africa. This abundance and diversity makes it one of the best places on the African continent to see wildlife in their natural habitat. Keep an eye out for cheetahs, African elephants, black rhinos, lions, African wild dogs, buffalo, hippopotamus, and crocodiles, just to name a few of the many animals to be found within the delta. Other activities on offer here include fishing, birding, boating safaris, and cultural interactions in local villages. Number 5, the Pyramids of Meroë in Sudan. Deep in the desert of eastern Sudan lies a fascinating collection of almost 200 primordial pyramids. These ancient pyramids of Meroë were once part of a thriving and prosperous civilization. Today this remote destination in Africa is the biggest archaeological landmark site in Sudan and the country's most impressive tourist attraction. The pyramids were built by the rulers of the ancient Kushite kingdoms and many served as tombs of the kings and queens who ruled the area for over 900 years. The ruins lie deep in the Sudanese desert, 3 hours from the capital Khartoum. Situated along the banks of the Nile River, they extend over a square mile in area. The ruins were discovered in the 19th century. Excavations in the early 20th century revealed an enthralling array of pyramids, palaces, and temples. In 2003 Meroë was added to the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites. Number 4, Victoria Falls, located between Zambia and Zimbabwe. One of the 7 natural wonders of the world, the Victoria Falls is famous for being the largest waterfall, not only on the African continent, but in the world. This spectacular natural site in Africa forms the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe on the Zambezi River in southern Africa. One of the most breathtaking falls in the world and a famous landmark in Africa, it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1989. Fondly named Mosioetunya, meaning the smoke that thunders, this natural wonder can be heard, seen, and felt from miles around as the Zambezi River plunges over a cliff and into the boiling pot before flowing through a sequence of gorges. Victoria Falls is protected within the Mosioetunya National Park in Zambia and the Victoria Falls and Zambezi National Parks in Zimbabwe. You can view the grand waterfall from either country or, even better, from both sides in a day. The closest tourist towns to the falls are Livingstone in Zambia and Victoria Falls Town in Zimbabwe. The Zambian side comprises closer viewpoints for a better feel of the power and magnitude of the falls as you get soaked, while the Zimbabwean side is further away for better photographs and overall perspective. Victoria Falls is an awe-inspiring sight to behold as the widest single-sheet waterfall in the world and a must-visit African tourist attraction. Number 3, Table Mountain in South Africa. The most photographed and iconic landmark in the country, Table Mountain stands prominently over the city of Cape Town and Table Bay. Named after its flat-top tabular shape, the distinctive-looking mountain rises to a height of 1,086 meters, 3,563 feet above sea level. Table Mountain is considered to be one of the oldest mountains in the world, with the rocks of the mountain being over 60 million years old. The immense plateau is flanked by Lion's Head on one side and Devil's Peak on the other. This popular tourist attraction in Africa offers an abundance of activities, in addition to providing a breathtaking view of the surrounding city below. Hiking, camping, and abseiling are just some of the many activities on offer. The top of the mountain can also be reached via a 5-minute cable car ride. The unique vegetation comprises over 2,000 various plant species that are only found in this floral kingdom. Also keep an eye out for the rock hyraxdacee, the chacma baboon, the Table Mountain ghost frog, and the many porcupines, tortoises, snakes, and lizards that call this area home. Table Mountain remains a top site to visit in Africa, charming every visitor with its beauty and rawness, and should not be missed. Number 2, Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. You simply cannot have a list of landmarks on African soil without the mighty Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest mountain in Africa. With its snow-capped peak rising above the clouds to a height of 5,895 meters above sea level, it is also the highest freestanding mountain in the world. Kilimanjaro is also one of the most famous places in Africa. Climbing Kilimanjaro and reaching the top of the African continent has become a popular attraction and bucket list item among the adventurous travelers. Earning the right to say you've stood at the top of the world's tallest freestanding landmark hails outdoor enthusiasts and mountaineers from around the world. Its popularity is also due to it being considered the easiest of the 7 summits, requiring no technical climbing skills. Although, I must add that Kilimanjaro is no walk in the park and does require one to have a decent level of fitness and endurance. The climb is also relatively affordable and doesn't require a huge time commitment. Another attraction of Kilimanjaro is the beautiful and varied scenery, both on the mountain and in the surrounding landscape. The region offers an array of diverse habitats and environments as you make your way up the mountain. Kilimanjaro National Park protects the encircling plains that are home to elephants, antelope, buffalo, and a variety of birds and smaller species. Lush montane tropical forests cover much of the foothills before making way for the cloud forest, alpine desert, and sparkling vista of glaciers, snow and ice. Mount Kilimanjaro is an African icon and a world-famous landmark around the world. It is a special experience to walk in its shadow surrounded by the beauty of the land. It is a special feeling to stand on the roof of Africa, and this experience comes highly recommended. Number 1, the Great Pyramids of Giza in Egypt. First up on this list of remarkable African landmarks is the Great Pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx. The only one of the ancient 7 wonders of the world still in existence, and the oldest man-made tourist attraction in Africa and around the world. For a long time throughout history, the Great Pyramid was the tallest man-made monument on Earth. The list of accolades and attributes are endless. Yet, to this day, the pyramids of Giza remain a mystery, and scientists have failed to come up with a reasonable explanation as to how these colossal structures were built. These landmarks do, however, reveal important glimpses of an ancient civilization. The shape of the pyramids have been designed in such a way as to conjure the rays of the sun between heaven and earth, while the walls of the interior were often decorated with sacred art, inscriptions, and carvings. The Great Pyramid has some other mind-blowing facts. It was constructed around 2650 BC, aligned towards true north, with each of its 4 sides facing a cardinal direction. The monument comprises 2.3 million granite and limestone blocks, each weighing 7 tons on average and a total combined weight of 6,840,000 tons. Archaeologists detail that on its completion it was the tallest structure on Earth and remained so for over 3,800 years. Inside you will find the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber, and another unfinished chamber in the basement. Thousands of monuments from the Old Kingdom of Egypt stand across modern-day Egypt, but the Sphinx and the Great Pyramids of Giza are the most legendary and well-known. Located a short distance from Cairo city center, it is possible to visit this awe-inspiring tourist attraction independently or with a guide. A famous landmark in Africa, it remains one of the most remarkable ancient man-made structures in the world. You really need to see it with your own eyes to believe it.